At the end, I wanted to die, but I didn't have the guts to take my own life. But I didn't care if I woke up anymore.
Fentanyl is the leading cause of overdose deaths for Americans between the ages of 18 and 45. But we are starting to see a downward trend in overdose deaths.
NBC2's Samantha Serban has the State of Addiction update with a local expert about the trend and recovering addicts who are helping others through addiction.
It's almost like I got to live two different lives, right? I get to live a life of misery and despair, and now I get to live a life of happiness and joy.
Dustin Cheatwood is happily married, a homeowner, and a cat dad. But that wasn't always the case.
At the age of 11, though, I started experimenting with drugs and alcohol, and it slowly progressed to where it led me homeless in 2015 for 2 years.
He lived in these Ohio woods, trying to escape his trauma and loss the only way he knew how.
More alcohol and more drugs.
His drugs of choice? Mostly methamphetamines and opiates. Cheatwood says the one time he dabbled into fentanyl, it nearly took his life.
I mixed it with Xanax, and that's a deadly combination. I remember, like, oh, let me try this. I'll try this one time and see what it does. But then after that was all a blur. And I remember my dad telling me days later when I was starting to regain some consciousness and clarity that he was like, hey, you know, we were really scared. We thought we were going to lose you.
DEA Administrator Ann Milgram says, quote, fentanyl is the single deadliest drug threat our nation has ever encountered. Fentanyl is everywhere, from large metropolitan areas to rural America. No community is safe from this poison.
Florida in the past, and to some extent now too, has been a national leader in overdose deaths.
Dr. Russell Vega is the medical examiner in Charlotte County.
I think it's important to note that a lot of the deaths that we see have multiple drugs involved. It's fentanyl with methamphetamine, with cocaine, with alprazolam.
Fatal overdoses have surpassed the number of traffic deaths in recent years. The National Institute on Drug Abuse published this graph to give you an idea of what drugs are causing a majority of fatal overdoses. As you can see, synthetic opiates like fentanyl skyrocketed starting in 2015. 7,769 people died from an overdose in Florida in 2022. 325 in Lake County, 127 in Collier, and 51 in Charlotte, according to the Florida Department of Health.
Hopefully, we're past the crest of this big wave of fentanyl-related deaths.
A small number of those deaths represented on this memorial wall at the Campbell Lodge, a homeless shelter in Naples. People who succumbed to their addiction. People Rachel Fraterelli knew and worked with.
This is a life or death. A lot of these names I have saw the day before, the week before, you know, and they were dead the next day, you know, and you get that call and it's heartbreaking. It's definitely heartbreaking.
The sobering reality is her name could have been here too.
I was trying to mask up. At the age of 9, my father got murdered in front of us 6 days before Christmas. My mom quickly remarried where her husband sexually abused me and my twin sister for 3 years. St. Matthew's House Intake Department, this is Rachel.
5 years clean and sober now, and an intake supervisor at St. Matthew's House Campbell Lodge. Fraterelli uses her past to inspire others' future.
I found St. Matthew's House when I ended up in jail for the 3rd time. I was hopeless, helpless, didn't know where to go or where to reach out for help. And Holmes County Jail works with St. Matthew's House, and they offered me to come down to a 12-month recovery program, 8 hours away from home.
Here she found success and a new life. From the depths of addiction to helping others, the 44-year-old herself never overdosed, but that doesn't mean she hasn't felt the impacts firsthand.
We've had it here in the shelter. We've had it over at the bus stop. We've had it where we had to Narcan people in our showers.
For those still struggling, there is help out there. There is a future and success waiting. You could see it firsthand in these two people who may not have survived had others not had faith in their future.
I have a judge in Jackson, Ohio that actually coordinates with St. Matthew's House and sends people down here for recovery, and I got blessed because he saw a life in me that was worth saving when I couldn't see it.
Dustin is coming up on 7 years sober, reestablished a relationship with his kids, and now is a case manager for St. Matthew's House, helping others out of the hole he once knew as home.
Step out your comfort zone. Don't let the fear and the lies tell you that you don't matter and that you're not worth saving, because you are. Just ask for help.
Reporting for NBC2, I'm Samantha Servin.